start with our answering technique. Today we're going to cover on paper one. So what are the important points that you need to pay attention in order for you to score paper one? So there's a lot of things that I need to stress out here. Even though paper one is quite simple in terms of they already given us the answer, we just need to choose the correct one. But don't be careless. Don't be not pay attention to the details because it's just a simple question. You might take it easy, but actually it's quite confusing sometimes the answer or the question. So you need to pay attention to the details, same like paper three. So this paper that I choose is from last year SPM 2019. So it let's check the instructions. So this question papers is in bilingual. That means there is this the English question first, and then followed by the Malay question. So it must be in that order, and then all of the candidates must read the information at the back of this paper. Unfortunately, this version of the PDF doesn't include that information, but basically it just tells us about how to blacken the answer in the OMR sheet and tell us that there's only exists one answer, used to be pencil, and it consists of how many questions, answer all the questions, such as that. So if you examine the first page of this paper, basically it's 1 hour and 15 minutes. So the code is 4531/1. So why is 1 hour and 15 minutes? Because we have 50 questions. So times with 1.5 minutes per question. So this is the maximum amount of time that you need to use per question. So if you catch up, if you realize that you use more than 1.5 minutes, then probably you need to do something with your practice. So make sure that if you multiply 50 by 1.5, you will get 75 minutes, which is equivalent to 1 hour and 15 minutes. Okay, so how the question gonna distribute out? So we have how many chapters? So the first chapter is introduction to physics. This is basically the measurement, the units, the base quantity, the derived quantity, scalar quantity, vector quantity, graph, scientific investigation, converting units, measurement, measuring instrument, accuracy, sensitivity, and consistency. Number 2 is force and motion. So this is very long topic. It includes linear motion graph, inertia, momentum, also principal conservation of momentum, force, then forces in equilibrium, that include with resultant force, resolving the forces into components, weight, gravity, spring, elasticity. Well, not elasticity yet, we still have work done, energy, power, efficiency. So we have kinetic energy, gravitational potential energy, and elastic potential energy. And finally, we have elasticity. This is the Hooke's law, the spring, and the graph related to it. Okay, so a lot of things that include in the force and motion. Okay, number three is force and pressure. This is quite simple topic that includes the pressure F over A, the liquid pressure rho GH, the gas pressure or atmospheric pressure, the Pascal principle, Archimedes principle, and Bernoulli principle. Number 4 is heat, including thermal equilibrium, specific heat capacity, specific latent heat, and gases law, which is the Boyle's law, Charles law, and pressure law. Number 5 is light, reflection of light, mirrors, curved mirrors, refraction of light, index of refraction or refractive index, total internal reflection, critical angle, lenses, convex lens, concave lens, and the instruments such as microscope and telescope. So that's for light. Number 6 is wave. So the properties of wave: longitudinal or transverse wave, frequency, amplitude, period, damping, resonance, the graph ST or SX, the speed of the wave V equal to F lambda. What else? Reflection of wave, refraction of wave, diffraction of wave, interference of wave, sound wave, electromagnetic wave. Okay, so number 7, electricity. So electric field, charges, electric current flow, potential difference, Ohm's law, resistor, factors of resistance, EMF, internal resistance, electrical power, energy, normal brightness, power rating, etc. And also parallel and series circuit, the effective resistor. Number 8 is electromagnetism. This is very heavy topic as well, including the magnetic field around or on a current carrying conductor, right hand grid rule, straight conductor, coil, solenoid, and then force on a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field, which is the motor effect, the Fleming left hand rule, and then the electromagnetic induction, Lenz's law, Faraday's law, Fleming right hand rule, DC motor, DC generator, AC generator, slip ring, commutator ring. Number 9 is not number 9. The next is the transformer, step up, step down, the working principle of transformer, efficiency, ratio formula. And then the transmission and generation of electricity, where to use the step up, where to use the step down, why step up and why step down, why high potential difference to reduce power loss as well as transnational grid network. Okay, number 9 is electronics, thermionic emission, cathode ray, CRO, diode, semiconductor, extrinsic semiconductor, intrinsic semiconductor, P semiconductor, N-type semiconductor, doping, PN junction, rectification, half-wave rectification, full-wave rectification, full-wave rectification with smoother, such as capacitor to use as the smoother, rectification bridge, and then transistor, NPN, PNP, base, emitter, collector, transistor as an automatic switch, transistor as an amplifier, LDR, LED, thermistor, relay, and then logic gates, AND gate, OR gate, NAND, NOR, NOT, the Boolean algebra, the combination of logic gates, truth tables, logic 0, logic 1, and etc. etc. So that's all in the electronics. This is quite simple topic, electronics. And finally, radioactivity. So radioactivity includes the nucleus of an atom, proton, neutron, and as well as electron around the nucleus. And then we learn about the nuclide notation, big number above, small number below. So the big number is the nucleon number, the small number is the proton number. The nucleon number also known as the mass number, and then the proton number also known as the atomic number. And then we learn about isotopes. And after isotope, we learn about radioactive decay. We have alpha decay, beta decay, and gamma decay. Alpha particles, beta particles, and gamma rays. Gamma rays also known as photons. So the characteristic of those decays, we lose helium atom for alpha, we lose electron for beta, and nothing, we don't lose anything other than the energy for gamma decay. And then we learn about half-life, decay curve, how to use the decay curve to determine the half-life. We also learn about the instruments to detect radiation, spark counter, GM tube, photographic batch, bubble chamber, smoke chamber, and etc. etc. And then we learn about radioisotopes, the use of radioisotopes in industry, in medicine, and archaeology. And then we learn about nuclear energy. We have nuclear fission, nuclear fusion, and then EMC square, E equal to MC square, Einstein's equation, nuclear reactor, the parts of the nuclear reactors, and nuclear waste, how to handle the nuclear waste. So all of these 10 topics will be asked in the paper 1 according to the order. So the first few questions should be from introduction to physics, and large portion of the question will go to the number 2, force and motion. Few will go to number 3, force and pressure. Few heat, few light, and few wave. Few electricity, few electromagnetism. And a lot of the question, the rest of the question will focus on electronics and radioactivity. So the radioactivity must be at the end, the number 50 or 49 or 48. Okay, so and the EMC square question also will be around that number 48, 49, 50. So it must be in this order. The 50 question will be divided not evenly, because force and motion has a lot of topics. So a lot of the portion of the 50 question will go to number 2 and number 3, I think, number 2 and number 3. And the rest will probably will be divided uniformly. So let's look at the question briefly. We don't answer each question, we will do that later, but now we just see how much of the distribution. So again, before we answer the question, it will given us the formula list. We already covered that in the previous video. Make sure you check that. and make sure that you know what are the formulas that will be given for paper 1, because paper 1 and paper 2 has a different set of formulas. So number 1 is the question from introduction. So don't worry if there's only one question per page, because it needs us to have a clear pictures as well. It need to be big, the pictures need to be big, the diagram need to be clear. So it's logical to have only one question per one page, even though it's an objective question. So this is also still intro. This one is force and motion. Now you start to look at the force and motion, because we have a lot of force and motion question. This is also force and motion. So already 2 questions. This one also force and motion. 3. The next one is also force and motion. 4. Force and motion for number 4. Force and motion number 5. Force and motion number 6. So before that, let's put the subtopic for force and motion, because force and motion is too wide. We can just specify the topic. This is linear motion, because it asks us about displacement. Okay, we will answer that later. Don't worry. We just need to glimpse through the distribution of topics. This is linear motion graph. Linear motion graph. Because we given graph. Okay, the next one is inertia. Next, momentum. Even though I don't read the question, but based on the picture, I can recognize it, what type of question, because I've been checking the question so many times that I already realize it what it is. This is force. What type of the question based on the pictures, without reading the question in fully. This is impulsive force. So again, I forgot to include the impulsive force chapter in the list. Make sure that you do that. We still have one more chapter in the force and motion. This one is still impulsive force, or the safety features in car. Safety features in car. So FM is safety features. So in the old syllabus, safety features is actually another chapter in the force and motion. So let's back up. We already, yes, so this force and motion. This is force and motion free fall or gravity. This one, force and motion, forces in equilibrium. Forces in equilibrium. This is quite hard topic. We can do revision later. That only focus on this type of question, inclined plane, pulley, etc. etc. We can do it that later, but in this case, this is quite difficult. For probably this is higher level question. This one, force and motion work done. Okay, because I see the joule, you know it must be work done. This one, force and motion elasticity. Because I see spring there. Elasticity should be at the end of the question before we move on to, yes. So how many questions for force and motion? 13 minus 2, 12. 12 questions for FMM. So there's a lot, because there's a lot of subtopic in the force and motion. So yeah, it's logical. to have 12 questions. And then 14 is the force and pressure, Pascal principle. Again, if I look, oh no, this is not Pascal principle because we given two pictures, so that's mean we have to compare pressure. So pressure, this is the ordinary pressure F over A. Okay, this one is liquid pressure, pressure in liquid, because I see liquid there and I see H. This one also, oh, this one is gas pressure. Gas pressure. Okay, using manometer. This one is Pascal principle. Pascal principle. So we have how many questions already? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 questions. This should be the 5th question. Force and pressure, Archimedes principle. So this is number 5. This is number 6. Force and pressure, Bernoulli principle. Should be at the end of the topic. Yes. Okay, so we have 6 questions for force and pressure, which is quite logical as well because we probably have only 6 topics for force and pressure. Pressure, pressure in liquid, gas pressure, atmospheric pressure, Pascal, Archimedes, and Bernoulli. So all of these questions are included in the SPM. All of the topics in force and pressure. So number 20 should be heat, thermal equilibrium. Okay. This one, heat, specific heat capacity. This is heat, latent heat. Specific latent heat. Given this graph, I already recognize it as LH. Specific latent heat. This one should be gases law. Heat. So let's specify which law is this. We have pressure, we have temperature. That's mean P pressure law. So how many questions should be 4? Because heat has 4 subtopics: thermal equilibrium, SHC, SLH, gases law. So 4 questions for heat. Heat, 4 questions. Okay, number 24 is light refraction. Number 25 is also refraction. So we have 2 refraction question. Because refraction is quite long, the topic. This one is lenses, like which lens we can say is convex lens. Convex lens. So we only have how many questions for light? 3 only. So you don't need to worry. Light will be the fewest question, one of the fewest question in SPM. So If you cannot answer the light question correctly, at least the concept. Okay, because lenses can be hard and critical angle, all the formulas could be hard. Okay, so we have light question only 3. Light 3. So what we don't have reflection, the question about reflection. We don't have the question about total internal reflection. Okay, number 27, wave is amplitude. The basic of wave. This one is the reflection. Reflection. This one refraction. Number 30, refraction or the day. What is this actually? This is refraction. Because it has night and day, usually it must be refraction if you have to. Number 1, interference. Interference. This one is wave. Wave. Ultrasonic. This one electromagnetic wave. Should be at the end of the question. So how many wave question? The first one is about amplitude, refraction, interference, and EM. So 5 questions. We don't have, we have reflection. Or we don't have diffraction question. Okay. 34. This is electricity. What current flow, charge flow, current. This one Ohm's law. Ohm's law. This one is parallel circuit. Parallel circuit. This one EMF. This one factors of resistance. Okay, and then how many questions for it? You. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 questions. So the number of questions should be not the same for each year. It's going to differ by 1. For example, this year probably electricity. Next year probably 6 or 4. It should be around that range, or could probably still be 5. So you don't need to stress out how many questions, you just have a general idea about which question is the most will be asked in the question paper, which is should be force the most. So this is SPM, magnetic field. Magnetic field, straight conductor, straight conductor. Magnetic field on a current carrying conductor. Okay, next is motor. Because I see permanent magnet there, and then we have the force. This one is induction. Because I see the magnet is moving. And then we also see transformer, and then should be if not the second last. Yeah, but this one should be electricity question. Seems that the question is jumped up a little bit, but that's fine. This one go back to electricity, charge or field, electric field. Okay, so electricity has 6 questions. EM has 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 questions for EM. This 6, we're gonna update it. This one is electronic CRO. This one is semiconductor diode. Diode. This one is transistor. Logic gate. So electronic we have 49 and 50 should be radioactivity. This one is decay. The properties of alpha, beta, and gamma. This one EMC square. B at radioactivity. Usually at the end, the last one should be EMC square. If not, probably management of the nuclear waste should be around that question. So we see that we have a quite distribution of topics. Intro for force and pressure, we have 4 or 5. Not sure, I don't not quite remember. Let's see. Only 4. 6. Force and pressure 6 because heat we have 5 or 4. Heat we have 4. allocation, yes. Light, we have three. We have the refraction lenses. Use the width chapter 5. We have 5 or 6. We have 5 questions. We have 6. EM, we have 4. 4 EM, 4. Electronics 4. Media activity 3. So if we total 5 plus 14, 14 plus 6, 20, 24, 7. And then this is 37, 44, 49. That means we're missing probably that one is 4. So 3 plus 4, 7. 7. Yes. 8, 12, 17, 17 plus 5, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 22, 6. Okay, this is one. We have 6 questions. The mistake that we do. We have 6. Okay, we have 50 questions. So this is the format for the paper 1 for SPM 2020 only. For the next SPM 2021, the number of questions for paper 1 will be reduced to 40 questions. And the topic will be more for the next batch of SPM because we add up new topics. For example, the gravitational topic, the gravitation topics, and the force and motion split up into 2. So we increase the number of topics as well. Then we add one more new topic, quantum mechanics. For a lot of topics for the next batch of SPM 2021. But the question only 40. So expect that some of the topics will not be come out in paper 1. Not the big topic, the smaller topic leading the big topic. So we should expect more. And again, majority of the question. Same for the new syllabus and the old syllabus. So see you guys for the next session. We will go through each of the question in paper 1. So you understand generally what the paper 1 is about and how to manage your time, manage your studies to focus on which topic that is important for paper 1. So hopefully that you gain some insight for this. Thank you.